I gotta make a post about my recent dating experiences and how dating apps have not been very fruitful for me, but that the old, true, and tried way of just living your life, doing you, indulging in the things that you want to do and enjoy, and meeting people that way organically is still, in my opinion, king. For some people, dating apps works. They have the right pictures, they're providing the right information that's making them stand out. But nothing beats meeting someone in person because you get past the aspect of enhanced photos and potential photoshopping or filters that makes people look some type of way. Meeting them in person, it beats all of that. You already know what this person looks like in person, top to bottom. You get an idea of how they dress, at least at that first meetup, or how you interacted, and that tells you a lot more than what you might get in a dating app. Just because in dating apps, it's a very superficial thing. First and foremost, people are screening based on the pictures. Some people actually take the time to read bios, many don't. They're basically like, if I don't like your first couple of pictures, that's it, X. And then I think it goes, okay, I like some pictures, all right, let me check that. Or some people even go the extra mile and said, let me read your bio, etc. But nothing beats the organic relationship development opportunities, in my opinion. That's where I have recently found some success in being able to meet people and go on dates versus the apps. It's also a big supply and demand aspect when it comes to the dating apps. For example, there are probably more men on dating apps than there are women. And I feel like women are in a position where they can be more picky about men. I feel like men are more likely to hit the yes or the check than women are. Women are going to have a lot more options on dating apps than men are. Quantity. Quantity will be there. Quality will be something else. It is a numbers game when it comes to that. That has to be considered. And there's also this aspect of inflated egos, inflated realities. What I mean by that is sometimes people on these dating apps think and view themselves a certain way based on the number of people that are matching or not matching with them online. When really it's not a true representation. I think more than anything it says, hey, you are considered somewhat attractive or unattractive to people based on responses, but again, it's how you take the pictures, it's how clear the pictures are, it's making your filters look a certain way, it's standing in this pose. Like that's all catching the perfect pictures, putting together a perfect bio. Again, it doesn't mean you can't have success with it. You can certainly have some success with it. But to me, nothing really beats the organic living my life and meeting people in person, because at least that way, if you actually connect and meet with someone and people do want to meet with you after, you at least got to see each other before and had a real conversation organically that now you're hoping to build off of. versus the screening that goes on in apps, and who's actually worth my time and reaching back out, and who should I actually try to invest time to hang out with, money, etc. They they are all part of the finding a mate or mates screenings and just ways of approaching finding people. It's all connected. I just think that above all else, live your life, do the things that you want to do. And hey, if you meet someone along the way, perfect. If you don't, guess what? You're still living your life. Whereas with these dating apps, sometimes you can get stuck on them for 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, going down rabbit holes. And maybe somebody will get back to you or not. It's just more of a little, like of a cat and mouse game. Again, supply and demand. Supply is plentiful. Women are on demand for men on these dating sites, and so women have more options. But it's a lot more superficial. It's not the reality. Reality will tell you what's up. When you go out there in public, that will tell you what's up more than these apps, in my opinion. So my advice to men or even women, live your life, do the things and activities that you enjoy or you want to partake in, and try to like meeting people that way more than spending a bunch of time on these dating apps. If you are going to spend time on the dating apps, I do believe that it's important to invest if you want to have real success. And you really want to invest in your apps. You really want to invest in the quality of your photos. You might even want to do a shoot. Get a nice haircut, wear some nice clothes, go out there, take these pictures. Their first impressions. I never really cared about the superficiality of dating apps or profiles, and I never tried to get caught up in, the perfect image, because they're pictures. It's a video, it's a snapshot. It doesn't tell you the whole story. And I didn't like the idea of investing too much time in that because it's just not the reality. People can paint pictures thousands of different ways, and it can be very misleading. Or people will talk about getting catfished or solicitations, or man, you do not look the way that they looked in the pictures. Like, there's a lot of that stuff, and after a while you almost start thinking, is this even worth it? Again, I've heard some people say, hey, I've had success with it more than others, and everything that I've researched has said essentially you really got to invest if that's the way you're going to go. So keep them all as options, because you can't win if you don't play, and the only way to play is to be out there. Or of course, you just live your life and let it come to you. And so part of that has been going out and doing things. So, hey, what do I want to do? I want to go to the gym. Okay. I want to go for a hike. Cool. You might meet people that way. I decided recently to go do salsa bachata. Met someone that way. And I think that you just have to have the courage to put yourself out there and be willing to understand that if you don't ask, the answer will be no. Meaning, if you see someone that you find attractive and you would like to meet up with them in the future or hang out sometime, tell them. Tell them exactly that. And you might get some of them that might say yes, cool. And you might get some that'll say no, no thank you. And that's okay, because we're not for everybody. If we went out and we asked 10 people and they all said yes, now you have 10 people that you have to go on dates with. Sounds like a good problem to have, but there's only so much time in a day, and unless you're wealthy, there's only so much money to go around to try to take all these people on dates. So it all works itself out anyways. Now, and the reason why I say it works itself out is because, hey, you might ask 10 and you might get 2 or 3 that might say yes, or you might get 1. Well, hey, there goes that 1. Cool. But remember, you're not really wasting a lot of time because you're living your life. This is while you're living your life. It feels like a waste of time if you're on an app for an hour or 2 hours and you're just hoping to connect with someone, because all you've been doing is just sitting and then hoping to connect with someone. Whereas the meet someone in real life is you're living your life, right? You're washing your car, you're partaking in certain activities, you're traveling, and you're meeting people. So that conversation could be 2 seconds, 10 seconds, it could be a minute, it could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour. And hey, it's while you're living your life in real time. And they could be that person that you meet for that moment, and great, you may or may not see them ever again, or it could be something that you build off of and then you go from there. These are some learnings that I've been gaining, but the key is, to me, is to have balance. Balance in your goals, balance in your time and how you're going to spend it, what's adding to your life, what's going to take away from your life, resources, etc. But call me old school, traditional. I'm more of an in-person, get to know you, live my life that way versus apps. I tried the apps first and foremost because I didn't want to be necessarily trying to put myself out there, hoping to meet someone. And then eventually, through having great conversations with my counselor, she advised that I just go out there and just live my life, just plan things. And that's what I've been doing. And man, the results have been great for my own personal sake. I've been getting active again in the gym. I'm working on new skills, and socially, I've been meeting a lot more people with a lot less effort versus what I was doing with these apps and trying to meet people that way. And again, just a very superficial way. Real life versus social media life, to me, it's just, there's no comparison. Now, the one thing I will say about in-person getting to know situations is that it does take more courage. You have to be willing to start a conversation, introduce yourself, try to chat. And it does take some practice, or at least multiple efforts, something you can get better at over time. I know sometimes I've engaged in conversations and afterwards I told myself, why did I say that? Or, man, that was too fast, or man, I waited too long. For example, I met someone in a car wash and she was very beautiful and she was washing her car, and I was like, wow, that's very attractive. And I just thought, what, her man doesn't wash her car for her? Or, hey, her lady, whatever may be. But I had sparked a conversation and asked her what her name was, and instead of just kind of getting to know her a little bit better, I kind of jumped right into it and asked her, do you want to hang out sometime? And she said no. It sounds like she was interested because she kind of hung around a little bit longer afterwards. But I just let it be. I just kept washing my car and I just moved on. I probably could have kept going further, but that was one of those situations where I told myself, okay, next time, have a longer conversation, ask more questions. Like maybe she would have been interested, but at that moment, she didn't have enough identifiers of, what my name was and the fact that I complimented her for being an independent woman washing her vehicle. Had I asked her where she went to school, what she's doing in the neighborhood, or things of that nature, right? There could have been more of a dialogue. I jumped in too fast. Or there were times where I was focused too much on talking about my past relationships. And it's like, ugh, people don't want to know that. You have to really reflect on that, the interactions. Or what do we talk about? And it's not just what I'm going to get out of it, it's what are both people going to get out of the interaction? What do you want them to get in the interaction with you? And what do you want to get out of it as well? And try to be intentional with that and ask yourself, okay, maybe this is what I should be focused on next time, or this is what I should probably think about next time. And understand that it's okay. It's human nature. But there are billions of people on this world, and it's not about being perfect. It's just trying to learn from past experiences and think, okay, this didn't work, or this did. Oh, you know what? I got to work here. I can be better here, etc. And then you go from there. So I'm pretty sure there's been more than a few times where I could have put myself in a position to get a more favorable outcome, and I didn't because I was rusty. I didn't say the right things. I jumped the gun too early. I maybe didn't come across as confident. But as I'm going through this, I'm getting more confident, more comfortable with rejection or redirection. And it doesn't, just because they say no, it doesn't mean that, oh, you're not good enough. Hey, whatever. They just didn't want to. There's a number of reasons. They either are not thinking about that. They could easily be not attracted to you. They could still be thinking about an ex and they're just not ready to move forward. I mean, there's so many things. But don't take it personal. Just learn from it and see how you can be better and improve your interactions in the future. And you build on it from there, and you grow from there. I've had to do that. I had to take quite a few lumps, but it's getting better. You got to work at it. You got to practice, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be okay. My dancing isn't the best, but you know what? I'm trying to learn. And I've had a couple people look at me like, "Oh my God, I can't wait for the next partner." They don't say anything. You can read body language. And it's like, hey, I'm not here to make everybody think I'm an amazing dancer. I'm here to learn how to dance, socialize, and anything that comes with that is the cherry on top. So you keep that mindset, philosophy. Hey, maybe I meet some people, maybe I make some friends. Hey, interact with people, exchange names, maybe exchange numbers, exchange future meetups, and then you'll discuss future meetups, and then you go from there. Very organic. Hey, you tried it and you didn't succeed. Ah, dang it. Try again. Try again. Try again. Every single day, every moment, every new interaction is a new opportunity to grow, learn, and to live your life. And that's what this is all about. Keep living, keep trying, keep growing, and keep making the most out of life. Remember, you may never see this person again. If you do, that means that things probably went well, and that means you had a good conversation and they want to follow up with you and you want to follow up with them, or by chance, but more than likely you might not see them again. So why not just ask? Why not introduce yourself? Why not try to make a connection? Worst case scenario, they can diss you, they could say no. Best case scenario, that could be your future partner or a friend. At the end of the day, we're all just humans. We're all just humans trying to live life. No. Don't leave anything for chance, because tomorrow's not promised today. Take advantage of today. Give that compliment. Make that ask. Do that bucket list item. And just build from there. One day, one moment at a time. Another thing, make your intentions known. Like, not every interaction is going to result in a friendship, a relationship, a hangout, the exchange of physics. It doesn't have to be transactional. Life is an experience. Having pleasant conversations, just making friends, it's all good things. Back in the day, I used to say, hey, you're basically someone I'm dating, or we're not really going to get very far, because once I have a girlfriend, it's hard to maintain girlfriends. And any girl that I've ever dated, they weren't happy with the idea of me having girlfriends. They didn't trust them, or they were just worried about what that could potentially lead to, because obviously stuff can happen at times. That being said, I'm more open to the idea of having friends, So if it doesn't lead to a girlfriend or someone that I potentially date, and we're just going to be better off as friends, so be it. Now, as a man, if you want to avoid putting yourself in the friend zone, you have to make your intentions known. You have to let them know how you feel about them. I don't really hold back. I make it very clear. If I'm interested in you, I'm interested in you. I will compliment you, let you know how beautiful I think you are, let you know the qualities that I really like about you and value, and I will let you know that I want to hang out with you and get to know you better. I think sometimes we get stuck in the friend zone when we're trying to play it too nice, and it's like, oh, we're interested, but we're not sure if they will like us, they will be into us. Just let it be known. Tell them. And if they say no, I'm okay with us being friends, then you decide, do I want to be a friend, or hey, no, sorry, that's not going to work for me, and then you move on. But the more direct and upfront and intentional you are with your interactions, the better you know where you stand to decide how you want to proceed in the interactions moving forward, or lack thereof. They might say no, and then they might change their mind. You know what? But I'm willing to hang out and see what happens. But at least they know, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Now you avoid being in the friend zone. But if they try to friend zone you after you hang out and they're not making it clear, again, that's where you really need to state your intentions, or go for the moves. Physical, whether it's touch, playful flirting, etc., things of that nature, and just see what happens from there. Let it be natural, be yourself, be respectful, and just as you continue to do that, you will get a better understanding of what feels right both ways, what these interactions mean, and that's how you learn and grow and be better, and hopefully that leads to something meaningful for you before all is said and done. But take what you can out of every situation, and learning and growing, and again, just appreciating each moment, regardless of what that may be. Don't read too far into it. Don't think about it transactionally. Appreciate each moment and let things happen from there.